I've done vlogs and I've done videos about books that I've completed, but I have never done a reading vlog. So I thought that would be something fun to try out. Not sure how it's going to go. I typically, when I'm reading ebooks, read them on my phone, and the times when I'm usually reading are at lunch at work or before bed in the evening. I also don't know how I'm going to do this without giving spoilers, but I will do my best. But I'm starting a new book today, so I thought this would be a good time to start the reading vlog. A little backstory: I'm in a virtual book club with Samantha March, and our April book is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. Now, I've never read anything from this author, and apparently she has another book that comes before this one called Part of Your World, and I guess you don't have to read them in order. It doesn't really matter if you haven't read the first one. But since I haven't read her books before and I've got a little bit of time, I want to read Part of Your World first and then Yours Truly for the book club after that. So that's the book that I'll be reading, Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I think that's how you pronounce the last name, hopefully. So I'm going to get into it and update you when I can. It's a couple of days later now. You might hear Liam in the background, but I wanted to update you on my reading progress so far. I'm up to chapter 8, which it says is about 15% of the way in. We've met what I assume to be the two main characters, Alexis and Daniel, and we kind of alternate chapters from their different perspectives. And Alexis is... So it takes place in Minnesota. Alexis lives in Minneapolis, but she goes to this very small rural town for a funeral for, it was either an aunt or a great aunt of hers. And while she's there, her car, I think she swerves because of a raccoon or some kind of animal, goes off the road. Someone's driving by, which is Daniel, offers to tow her out because she said she called the tow truck, but he told her, don't plan on that tow truck coming anytime soon because the tow truck driver is at the VFW hall 5 drinks in. So he offers to help her get out of the ditch, and she ends up at the VFW because she's looking for a place to eat. This is the off season in this town, so nothing much is open, and she goes in for a drink, ends up seeing Daniel there. They get to talking, and they seem to hit it off. They have an immediate connection, and she is getting ready to leave, and he leaves at the same time as her. And just to show that it's a small town, his cousin is the bartender, and he is the mayor, but he says his duties aren't that great because it's such a small town, but he's still the mayor and does a bunch of other stuff in town. So they end up leaving together. She asks where she can go get dinner, but there's nothing for like an hour's drive. So he offers to make her dinner. He makes her a grilled cheese, and they end up sleeping together, which she says is not at all like her. She never does anything like that. She's never even been with anybody that she hasn't been in a relationship with, which, speaking of, she just got out of a relationship, broke up with her boyfriend because he cheated on her. A little bit about Alexis. She is from a family of doctors and very well-known doctors, but it's gone through her family for decades, to the point that they're famously known for being in the medical field, for being doctors, doing research, writing papers, all of those kinds of things. And the hospital is either named after them or there's a wing of the hospital named after them, but they're very known and famous for being this medical family. And so she has a lot of pressure in that sense, because now her brother, who was supposed to be the one to kind of follow in the family's footsteps, was better at being in the limelight, has gotten married to a pop superstar, and they're going to live in Cambodia together. So now she feels extra pressure that she's got to be the one to fill that role because it's expected that they be at events and that they're publishing and all these kinds of things. She also kind of already disappointed her father because instead of doing surgery, which is what I guess most of the others have done, she decided to be an ER doctor. That's the gist of it so far. She has gone back to the small town because she did kind of sneak out in the morning and took his hoodie, but she decided that she has a connection with this person. She can't stop thinking about them. He can't stop thinking about her. So she goes back to the small town to see him again, and that's kind of where I've left off. And I'm enjoying it so far, and it's pretty quick-paced, and I like when books kind of alternate chapter to chapter from different perspectives. So there you go. I've made some more progress. I'm up to chapter 19, just under 40% of the way through. And some new developments are that, well, the ex of Alexis is a jerk. He was verbally abusive to her. He would say things to tear down her self-esteem. And now he's forced his way back into their house because he says his name is still on the deed or whatever, the agreement. And he even brought police escort to make sure that she couldn't stop him. And basically was like, I'm moving back in, and if you don't like it, move out. When she already told him that she wanted to keep their house. So that's that end of things. And then she's planning to go on a girls', well, first off, back to Daniel. He runs a B&B that has been in his family for, I think, over 100 years. And I thought it was his sister, but I guess it's his mother upon reading more. And she just wants the money, so she wants to sell the B&B. Doesn't care if it's been in the family. Doesn't care that it's where he lives. So he gets her to agree to give him a little bit of time to try to earn the down payment of $50,000 by the end of the summer, so that hopefully he can buy it himself. But this means that he's got to earn some more money. So while it's the off season, he decides to open the B&B in hopes to attract some guests, bring up revenues, make more money. He has kind of a woodworking hobby on the side, but he's probably not going to have time for that now that he has to run the B&B. And then going back to Alexis, she is going on a girls' weekend with two of her girlfriends who I don't really know why she is friends with. I don't think she even really knows why she is friends with them because they sound like stuck-up, miserable people. She has another friend, Bree, who she works with at the hospital, who is a good friend, and she feels like she can confide in and is comfortable with her. They have more in common. But these friends, she doesn't really trust with her secret of seeing Daniel because they're gossipy and they would go back and tell their spouses or boyfriends or husbands, I don't really know, who would then tell Daniel, and it would just make it all, not Daniel, would tell her ex, and it would just make it all awkward and uncomfortable. So they decide to go on this girls' weekend, and she thought that they were going to one place, but then one of her friends changed the plans at the last minute. So as they're driving there, she says, oh, no, I found this B&B that we're going to stay at in this small little quaint town. And she's saying, well, Daniel's B&B is closed, so at least I don't have to worry about it being there, except that it is there because he did end up opening it. And so she gets all nervous because she doesn't want her friends to find out about her. So she kind of lets him know that pretend you don't know me. Of course, his dog, who loves her, knows her and jumps all over her, but the friends don't seem to catch on. And at first he doesn't understand why she wants him to be a secret, but then he kind of gets to overhear her friends and what they're like, and finds out about her ex and how he was a jerk and abusive and all that. And he understands a little bit better. And she's just happy that she gets to be there again, gets to see him, and she makes up an excuse that she has a headache, so her friends go out and she stays back with Daniel and enjoys her time with him. So that's pretty much where I left it. And so far, hopefully I haven't given too much away. I don't really know where I'm going to have to stop telling you about it to not give away big spoilers. Again, this is the first book vlog, so I'm still navigating how I'm going to do that, because I can't imagine that people would want to watch this if they've never read the book and I give spoilers, but I don't know, because I haven't watched a whole ton of book vlogs myself to know how people do it really. But let me know, would you care about spoilers, or do you want it to be kept under wraps in case you decide to read this book someday? So again, I'll have to navigate that, see how it goes, but that's where I will leave you for today, because I won't be reading anymore again till tonight before bed, and that's usually a much shorter amount of time because I end up falling asleep. So hopefully I can give you another check-in tomorrow. I'm having my lunch and reading my book, and as I'm reading this section, it was very irritating. So I thought I would share it with you. So Alexis is at her home with Neil, who is her ex, and her parents show up out of nowhere in the morning, and she's kind of saying, "What's going on?" And her dad says, "I'm going golfing with Neil." And she's like, What are you talking about?" So here's the part. "It's not appropriate for you to golf with my ex. Alexis, Neil and I were friends and colleagues long before he dated you," Dad said. I licked my lips. "Dad, he cheated on me." He put up a hand. "I'm not going to get involved in your lover's spat. Couples fight. You'll work it out, or you won't. But I won't get in the middle of it either way." I blinked at him. "Well, it might interest you to know that he's living here against my wishes. It's his house as much as it's yours, and frankly, you should give it to him. You're the one who wants to end the relationship, and with the shifts he works, it's better for him to be close to the hospital. Unless you're planning on taking on a higher workload, I don't know how you can argue that you're more entitled to it." That just shows you what her dad is like. He's taking the side of her ex and not supporting her at all, basically making it like it's her fault. And this just shows the pressure that's on her, and that he expects her to be with a certain guy, would definitely not approve of Daniel. And yeah, that part just got me, that I felt I had to share it. On the book for you. Daniel and Alexis are in love at this point, but unfortunately they can never be together, and it's only a matter of time before they will have to break up. Alexis is likely to get a promotion at work, which would cause her to have to work more hours, and Daniel is tied down to the town because of his connection to the people to the town, his history or his family history in the town. And Alexis has a responsibility to her family and their legacy, and has to uphold that. Her father already disowned her brother for his actions, and he will do the same to her if she doesn't continue down this path. So they really have no future together because there's no way for them to be together with these two lives that are so set for them. Now, a little side story is that Daniel's cousin Liz, who works in the town, is the bartender at the VFW, is married to a police officer in town, and he is abusive to her, but she's too afraid to leave him. Alexis and Daniel try to help her, but she doesn't want their help, partly because of fear, but they are also afraid of what he will do to her if they don't intervene, what will end up happening to her because of his violence. They don't want to make the situation worse. Liz knows that they have offered help to her, will get her help in terms of like a phone he doesn't know about, transportation in case she needs to get away, a place to go, things like that, so she doesn't feel trapped. So she knows that's available to her, so we will see what happens with that. But I'm currently up to chapter 30, about 74% of the way done, and hopefully I haven't given too much of the book away while still keeping you interested. And from here on out, we will see if I reveal anything else. I don't want to give the ending away, that's for sure. So we shall see. I finished the book, but I'm not going to tell you any more about it just because I don't want to spoil the ending for you if you want to read it. I did enjoy it. I would rate it 4 stars. And of course, I'm going to read more from this author because the book club book I'm going to read is from this author. Just waiting to get it from the library, but I think I'm going to really enjoy her books. There's some others that I had saved of hers that I'll look forward to reading. But let me know if you liked this style of vlog, if you'd like to see more reading vlogs, what book you might like me to read for a reading vlog, because I enjoyed doing it, and I'll try to work on making them more aesthetically pleasing for you, because I know that some I've watched in the past, they have a very aesthetic feel to them, but it's hard when I'm not reading a physical book and I'm reading at work or before bed to do that. But maybe if I continue to do these, I can find some other time to make it a little more visually interesting for you, especially once the weather's nicer and maybe I can read outside or things like that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you read this author? Do you enjoy her? What's your favorite book from her if you have? Give this video a thumbs up, and yeah, let me know what you'd like to see for future reading vlogs. Thanks so much for watching, and happy reading, and I'll see you soon.